There's three things I thought we'd talk about today in the context of what you're being told versus what's actually going on. So some sort of communication context that I know from working inside these organisations, being contracted by these organisations, or knowing the individuals that are actually being spoken about. So first up, Trump. Why are you being told relentlessly that Trump is being charged 4 charges, election fraud, conspiracy to change the course of the election in 2020, 4 charges, an Obama appointed judge? That's the headline. That's what's being pushed out across all media outlets today. And there's a reason for that. The communication context to that is that poll numbers are also out. And it will not surprise you to know, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, that Trump is way out in front. So amongst all the people running for the Republicans at the moment, Trump takes 54% of those polled, and DeSantis takes 17%. So you can see Trump beating DeSantis in a very, in a very firm manner. And then if you take out the rest of the runners and the riders, which will happen after the GOP primary when it gets down to the final 2, and you just put Trump up against DeSantis, again, the numbers are huge. 62% then choose Trump and 31% would choose DeSantis. Don't ask me what happens to the other percentage, no matter. The point is that Trump's favourability has never been higher. That's what the media don't want you to be talking about. The other thing they don't want you to talk about is that they have segmented the American people into 59 different demographic segments. Okay, so one of those might be people who earn 100,000 plus. One of those might be women. One of those might be women who have children. One of those might be people who have a degree. You can imagine if you were going to group people down into 59 different types of people grouped together. Guess who wins on the Republican side in every single one of those 59 different demographics? That's a lot of segmentation. Trump wins in every single one of those demographics when we're talking about Republicans. That's what the media don't want you to talk about. That's what they don't want you to hear about. And that is the communication context behind the lines that you are being pushed. Let's take Andrew Neil. Andrew Neil has just come out today on Mail Online, my old home, and I know that editor very, very well. So he's come out today as, I'm now with J.K. Rowling. I'm on the front lines. Call me a TERF. I don't care. Here I am, Andrew Neil to the rescue. Look at me standing behind J.K. Rowling, and I now disagree because boycott Costa Coffee is trending, and so I'm here. And it's great. I always say, if anyone's speaking on our side, whatever side just wants everyone to be all right and as free as they want to be, that's great. Welcome, welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. Bigger the voices, the bigger the platform, even if I know they're an asshole. Brilliant, right? Brilliant. Let me tell you the communications context behind this. Why, Andrew Neil? Why now? Well, he had his splendid failure with GB News and then was allowed to just move seamlessly into his own talk show on Channel 4. That would never happen to a mere mortal, someone who wasn't deeply connected in ways that most of us will never know about, and somehow he got his own show. However, that has now been pulled. Andrew Neil sees that in terms of personal kind of promotion and personal links to continuing any kind of career, he needs a new avenue. Daily Mail is it. How does he now kind of energise the Daily Mail audience behind him? How does he get the Daily Mail audience to go, you know that Andrew Neil, he's a good guy after all? How does he get people to go, well done, Andrew, this is really great stuff? So he allies himself with people that might normally be called TERFs. He allies himself with people who don't think children should be mutilated, who think it's disgusting what Costa Coffee has done, who think it's abhorrent that people would choose to have a mastectomy just for some transitioning thing, which I personally believe is child abuse, but it doesn't matter what I think. The context here is that Andrew needs to ally himself with an audience where he can be on future payroll, which is Mail Online, which is why you're seeing this sudden, here I am, Andrew Neil turf to the rescue. So you might remember the Andrew Neil that we all saw during lockdown, the one that said people need to be, I'm just going to read the headline, people need to be punished. The 5 million people, the vaccine refuseniks, using that word, they need to be punished. Punish people who won't take the state injectable, lock them down, charge them, fine them. He said maybe we should even get them to pay for their own healthcare when they need it. That is Andrew Neil. That is the same Andrew Neil who's now doing a swerve because he needs you, because he doesn't have Channel 4 anymore and he can see his lines of power are diminishing. So welcome to the team, Andrew. Welcome to the people speaking out against the horrible, horrible mutilation of children. But I just want to say, for communications context, Andrew Neil is not the warrior you imagine. He's just looking after self-preservation and needing to get clicks on articles so that the Daily Mail will continue to pay him. No criticism, whatever, just pointing that out because I know it from the inside and I know that he'll being pushed for clicks and he needs to have something that resonates with the people. And what easier bandwagon than to jump on than Costa Coffee, where boycott Costa Coffee is trending right now. The final thing I wanted to talk about, if you're still with me, in a communications context is 100 new licenses for oil and gas. Ooh, Just Stop Oil crying about fish, or spray painting something orange, blah, blah, blah. But behind that, there's some important points that are really being missed and overlooked. First is that currently there is a 75% tax on oil and gas. That applies until 2028. Even if you've been given a license, here I am with my new oil license, why would I be incentivized to use it when until 2028 there is a 75% tax on oil and gas? I wouldn't be. Secondly, unless I'm one of the big multinationals, I'm going to need finance in order to be able to make this license work. The problem with trying to get finance, as we've just seen with Nigel Farage, is who's going to finance it? When the banks are all signed up to crazy things called, I want to get the name of it so I tell you correctly, for example, Mark Carney's Financial Alliance for Net Zero, GIFANZ, by Mark Carney, 550 financial institutions signed up to be net zero and join the net zero initiative. None of those banks are going to want to finance a license for oil or gas because they don't want the wrath of the Just Stop Oil lot, and certainly they don't want to be kicked off this initiative because they want favours from Mark Carney. Now, even if you get finance, you're going to need insurance. And what do you think's happened to the insurance market? Yes, they have signed up to the United Nations Net Zero Insurance Alliance, NZIA. So they've all signed up to NZIA, which means they're signed up to getting net zero, which means insurance companies won't want to insure even if you can get finance. And the problem with that is it's kind of anti-competition. It means no new entrants, even if they can get finance, they can't get insurance. So if the banks won't lend to the oil people, funds won't invest in them, insurance companies won't insure them, and then the government's going to tax them at 75%. What do you think is the realistic chance of any of these licenses actually getting more oil and gas to the British market? Anyway, just 3 things there, and I wanted to bring you the Katie's communication context to why you're hearing the stuff you're hearing about Trump, to why Andrew Neil is suddenly coming out on the side, hiding behind the petticoats of J.K. Rowling, and what's actually going on with these 100 oil and gas licenses. I hope you have a glorious day here in batshit bonkers Britain.